Back online.
Yes,
firing on all cylinders.
Hey guys, welcome to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show. We are joined with a very, very special guest, Patrick Sabongi.
Nice, nailed it.
There you go.
Sabongi.
You got it.
I'm bad with that.
First hurdle overcome.
First hurdle overcome. So thank you for joining the show. I know you have been extremely busy this weekend.
I have, yeah.
And we've missed you in almost every opportunity because we've been at our own table. So again, thank you.
Yeah, I just.
Yes, he has a mask.
He's got
the mask.
This is the mask guy.
I am the mask guy, and I just remembered he's actually filming normally and behind the camera when we do these things.
Right.
So, it's like, so
We revealed his
Yeah.
identity for a
yes,
brief moment.
For the first time.
for the first time. Although
Boy.
no one knows
Blur.
who knows me, everyone who knows me knows it's not a
So
secret.
we'll quickly start with you talking about who you are and what you're best known for. Of course, we know, but
Right.
other people may not.
So I'm Patrick Sabongi, and I'm an actor. I've had a couple of really cool gigs in my day. I guess right now I'm probably best known for playing Captain David Singh on the CW Flash series. I've also done a bunch of Zack Snyder movies. I was in 300, I was in Watchmen, I was in Sucker Punch. I was also in Immortals, which is a lesser known sword and sandal kind of movie. I'm getting a thumbs up from the man behind the camera. It's a Tarsem Singh movie, which was awesome. And I've been busy. I bounce around a lot. I've been on a lot of different shows, a bunch of sci-fi stuff as well.
Pretty much everything that we stand for. The biggest question I've actually been kind of mulling since we heard you were coming is, what has it been like to work with Zack Snyder?
Man, well, first of all, I gotta send my condolences to him and his family. They've just gone through a horrible, probably the worst possible experience I can imagine. So, my condolences to him and his family. But Zack is an exceptional human being. He leads from the front, not just as a creative, but just as a human being. All of that training that we did on 300, the fighting style, all the dieting that we did, that all came from not just his imagination, but from his personal practice. That's what he does. And we would come in the morning to work out, and he'd be finishing his workout, and he's enthusiastic, and he's clear. He's got a clear vision, but he's still collaborative, and you can tell that he's a fan. He gets excited about the sequence. He gets excited about the scene, and then we'll shoot it, and then he'll be like, "Woo, great! Okay, let's do it again. 120 frames a second. We'll reshoot it at a different frame rate." And he's also very personable. Like he's the large scale captain, but he'll also pull you aside and have some very intimate, creative conversations with you as a performer as well.
I've honestly always loved his movies. There's a whole special different feel to it. You can tell how much he enjoys doing what he does, especially when he talks about the movies and promotes it beforehand. It's a very rare thing for directors and people with movie.
Yeah.
And definitely why I think most people flock to his movies, especially lately. I do know, I think you've also worked with Joss Whedon as well.
Yeah.
Which is another very, very popular geek director and
Sure.
all that. So what's the difference between the two? Because they obviously have very different styles.
Yeah, I've worked a lot more with Zack over the years. I worked with Joss on Cabin in the Woods, and that was a very unique process because it was so secretive. It was probably the most secretive process I've ever been a part of. Joss wouldn't reveal to me what the scene was actually about. So in trying to give direction, he'd kind of be vague and be like, well, it's, there's more of this and there's more of that. And I, as an actor, I'm trying to relate it to story or to something familiar. And I'm like, oh, is it because maybe my bosses have my family hostage or like something like that? And he's like, yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah. So it was way more cryptic working with Joss.
That sounds amazing, actually.
I did hear stories about no one really knowing what was going on.
Yeah. Oh, and we knew there was this mysterious voice and this mysterious character that was going to be the kind of overseer, and we were never told. It ended up being Sigourney Weaver, but she was hidden from everybody on set. They never revealed to us who was playing that part, and there was very little interaction with anybody other than the main cast and her.
Wow. Secrets can be quite entertaining.
Yeah, especially in this day and age.
So, what has it been like working as Captain Singh on The Flash? Because it is an extremely popular show.
Yeah.
And you are a phenomenal actor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, what has it been like? How do you prepare for it? How do you get into your role?
To be honest, I've been part of that process where you're bringing a comic book universe to the screen, and so there's a process of making creative choices, but also trying to honor the source material. But with Captain Singh, I was acutely aware of how much history that character has and how much of a fan base that character actually has. Captain Singh was a very unique character in the whole comic book canon because he was a lot of firsts, right? He was the first Southeast Asian character. He was the first openly gay character in the DC Comics universe, and in a lot of in most comic book lore, I think. So for me, I appreciated how much I had to honor the tradition of the character itself and how much representation and what the character was representing, how important that was to a lot of fans. And so for me, it was going back to the source material, making sure that we were honoring what the original intention was, but updating it. And, we had a lot of creative conversations when starting up that we weren't just dramatizing the comic books, that we were empowered to... We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
That we were empowered to take some creative liberty as a team and go beyond what was established in the comic books.
That's awesome, actually. Is there any role at any point in your career you kind of wish you hadn't done or you did more of?
Yeah, man, it's about to get real.
Gotta ask the difficult questions.
No, it's a great question. Like, regret is a strong word. Look, the industry that we work in operates on stereotypes. Good guys, bad guys, villains, heroes, and historically, there's been a lot of cultural insensitivity also, and exploiting those stereotypes, for the sake of easily identifiable villains. And because I come from an action background, we're kind of still in that phase, but they love to kill guys who look like me. There's certainly some implicit bias when it comes to visible minorities in mainstream media, and that's historically been the easy way out for storytellers. To put a brown guy with a beard, put a vest, a suicide bomber vest on him, and make the white hero savior character have to save the day from him. And I've played my share of those guys. I've worn my share of suicide bomber vests. And if I was going to use the word regret, then I'd say, yeah, I regret playing those characters. But I can't hold myself wholly accountable, because that's as far as I'd gotten in my career and in my learning and in my development as an artist. You can't be perfect right out the gates, So I was still in a phase of growth. Now I try to be a lot more careful, and I'm a lot more aware of the social commentary that I'm making through my work. And when I do have the ability to make a choice based on my ethics, then I do. And I hope that that's kind of making up for some of the more ignorant or innocent choices I made when I was younger.
That is very deep. So, do you have any roles lined up other than with The Flash? I'm not completely up to date with The Flash, I will admit.
All good.
Yeah, I haven't actually caught up on The Flash this season. Sounds like there's been a lot of great stuff, so I got most of this season on PVR. I got to go back and watch.
I'll be honest, I haven't caught up with the rest of the season either. I've been quite busy. I'm still intermittently on The Flash, but I was also on Homeland this season, so that kept me in New York for about 5-6 months. And I'm working on a couple of other series. I'm working on Beyond, which is a freeform series, previously ABC Family. We're in season 2 of that, and I'm in Los Angeles right now. Well, not right now, but tomorrow morning. I'm back in LA working on Shooter, which is a TV series adaptation. Getting another thumbs up. TV series adaptation of the Mark Wahlberg movie, and now we're going into season 2 of that, and it stars Ryan Felipe, Turtle from Entourage, is part of our little crew, and I play a former Marine who was part of Ryan Felipe's character's original Marine outfit.
What's been your favorite role so far that you've done?
On what medium? On stage, on screen, the big screen, the little screen?
Well, okay, so you just turned my question around. It's a loaded one. Let's start with the small screen.
It's tough, because I'm more politically minded now, and I'm more aware of having a social impact and trying to fix our kind of divided world. So in that sense of where I'm at in my career, I guess the character that I play on Homeland responded most directly to my creative mission right now, which is to accurately represent Middle Eastern characters, especially on Homeland. They historically weren't very fair to Muslim characters or Middle Eastern characters. And so the character that they introduced this season, that I play Reda Hashem, who is a law professor and a pro bono lawyer who defends wrongly accused Muslim Americans. So in that sense, and the quality of the show and the quality of the creative people that I got to work with on that show responded, to a very urgent need I had as an artist to participate in that conversation. So in that sense, that was my favorite role on TV. But I'm an action guy, I love the physical stuff, and I love the fight stuff, and I've done a bunch of stunt work as well. And some of those days, as a stunt performer, just showing up and fighting, getting thrown out of windows and blowing stuff up, that's some of the funnest times I've had on TV too.
I think a lot of people would have fun with that one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's great work when you can get it.
What has been your greatest experience just being in Hollywood and things like that? Something that's really stood out to you?
I keep coming back to it, but 300 was a life-changing experience for me. And I think it was a landmark film in that it changed the industry to a certain extent. It changed how action sequences are prepared for. It changed how performers train. It included the concept of healthy dieting as part of the production. It changed how I work out. It changed how I eat. I think it probably didn't hurt my career, and it comes up in conversation on set all the time, and not just necessarily as me having been a part of it, but just in terms of the impact it had on the film industry. There's a few films have come along, like Matrix, I think, did the same thing in terms of how people think of filmmaking, and 300 did it, and so it did that on the film industry scale, I think, in terms of filmmaking, and for me personally, because I also did 2.5 months of stunt work. I was one of the Spartans, and then I also played the part of the Persian general. So a little double dipping on there.
It definitely was a very unique movie. I loved it just because of all the action. It's the one thing that stands out so much with any movie is action, especially with today's age, right?
Yeah. And honestly, the way the action was captured, and the way we choreographed and rehearsed and trained for it, and that all stemmed from Zack Snyder's vision. And when you watch it back, you'll see there are very few edits in those fight sequences. And it's because we trained to be able to do those choreographies from beginning to end. And the actors did it themselves. And so what you see is what we did on the day.
That is phenomenal. To see any actor or director or anything put so much energy and effort into a role is kind of